My name is Dilip Singh. I'm a senior program manager. What we'll be talking about today here is Dynamics portals, authentication demystified. The reason I thought about doing this session is because I spend 1 hour a day asking authentication question about portals, like every single day. And half of them are from this guy, or there's another guy there somewhere. So I wanted to do a session so I can walk you through some important scenarios which come across in every single Dynamics portal implementation and maybe help you solve them faster. So it's going to be like a lot of back and forth between actually doing a demo as well as going through slides. So don't worry about what's written in slide. We are just going to go and actually do it in the product. And then later on, I have whatever I'm doing on the product, I have just wrote it down in the slide so you can use it later as well. So these are the topics we are going to cover today. We're going to talk about how many types of portal are there when it comes to authentication. We're going to talk about how to onboard users onto portal. Like how do I enable portal to be for everyone or for only a selected few. And then we are going to talk about some advanced scenarios. Like we are going to talk about how to do automatic timeout. So we'll see, okay, how do you single sign on with your existing website? So those kind of things we are going to talk about here as well. So to get started, first and foremost, portal types with respect to authentication. Like what do I mean by that? So in general, whenever you go out in wild, whenever you go search for MicrosoftCRMportals.com, you'll find a variety of portals. They are broadly classified into 3 categories. Either they are completely authenticated, like any page you go, it will require a login. Login can be of any type you decided, but it will always require a login. Second is completely anonymous. Like there are sites which doesn't require a login. These are mostly for consumption. They'll even allow you to create stuff. Good example is if you use Dynamics 365 for marketing, all the landing pages are completely anonymous. You don't require login for that. And then there are hybrids, always. Like some pages require authentication, some are anonymous. Within a page, some content is authenticated versus anonymous. So we are going to talk about how to do these scenarios. Let's start with completely authenticated first. So what we really want to do in that is I want to restrict all of my website to require authentication whenever someone hits any page. The way to do that is play around with like access control rules on web pages. What you need to do is set restrict read access control rule, and don't worry about it, I'll show it in a minute. Set that access control rule on every web page, or there's a pro tip there. You can just set it on parent pages. Just set it on home, everything else is parent, so everything becomes authenticated by default. So let's quickly jump to the environment and see how that's going to really work. And it's on 6. All right. So here I am on my website. This is my portal. Like you can see that it is actually in a hybrid mode. Like all the portals by default are hybrid. They have few pages authenticated, few pages anonymous. So what I want to do is when I go hit my home page, I should be asked for login. I should be thrown to my sign-in page, where I should log in first, then I can actually access it. So what I'm doing here is I'm following the pro tip. I'm just going to go to my website, go to my home page. Everything else is child of this anyways. So I'll go add an access control rule. Now, it's pretty simple. Just go click on that plus, and we're going to create an access control rule here which says demo completely, oops, that wasn't supposed to happen, but all right. All right, complete anonymous, I'll choose my website. When I said restrict read, this is what I was talking about. In access control rules, you see 2 things, restrict read and grant change. Restrict read is what you want to set up here. Important thing, if you're doing it on home page, make sure your scope excludes direct child web files. Reason, web files are the one which creates CSS for your portal. If you're going to put a read rule on web files as well, CSS won't even load on login page. So your login page will be all without CSS. If you are using an external IDP, Facebook login, fine, do it. Like you don't really care about login page anymore. But if you don't, then make sure you exclude these. I'll do save and close. And I'm just going to do clear cache just to make it faster. It's a 20-minute session, right? So I don't want to wait for that to happen. So now I'm loading my page, and voila. I go to any page here, forums, ideas, everything is just going to throw me on my login page. So it's as simple as that. And let's go back to my slide. So that's pretty much what I have written here. So later on, you can always reference it. Important things there. When I was actually showing you all of this, I made sure I had an access denied site marker present in my site. It's very important. If you don't have an access denied site marker, you will see a page not found page there. So always make sure access denied site marker is present. There's a web template for access, there's a page template for access denied page. It is always set to rewrite with that URL and never changed. Do not ever change it. Like there are rewrite templates which you should not modify. So those are the important things to keep in mind. Now let's talk about completely anonymous. I'm not going to actually do a demo of this part because it's pretty simple. Just do opposite of what we did. Make sure you remove all the restrict read web pages, restrict read access control permissions. Make sure if you have entity list, entity forms, all of those, if they are running out of entity permissions, they are assigned to a web role called anonymous. Anyone who comes to a website, if he is not logged in, he actually gets permission from a web role called anonymous web role. By default, that's the name we set up. You can change the name, but that's the name which you'll get in the default template. Make sure that web role is present. All the entity permissions are assigned to that person. Now, this is an important pro tip. There's no website which is completely anonymous. You'll always have a login page. You want that because you want front-side editing. You don't want to give it to anyone who comes to your website to edit your website. So make sure you do not disable login pages. Always keep them. Do not give front-side editing permissions to your users unless you really want to, which is possible. There are people who want crowdsourcing for their website, but that's OK. Don't go that deep into that. So make sure those rules are followed, and you will have a completely anonymous website. Good examples, like if you'll go to faq.ssa.gov, that's one of the portals which run today on our portal platform. And that is a completely anonymous site. You don't have to log in. So that's something you can check it out later. Now let's talk about hybrid scenarios. Again, I'm not going to demo this part because every template which we ship is a hybrid template. There are pages which are anonymous. There are pages which are authenticated. One thing which I do want to show here is like within a page, you can have content which is anonymous versus authenticated. And that's what I want to show here. So first, let me go to my home, remove my access control rules, so my website becomes anonymous again. Then, load it. Go to support page. Now if you'll see this page here, you will see that it actually shows a message, please sign in to open a new case. Because I require my users to log in to create a case. Now that sign-in part, that's an example of how you can have dynamic content based on whether user is logged in or not. How it is all driven out is from a page template. So I'm just going to go open my page template here. Oh, sorry. This is what is doing all the magic there. So there's a liquid object which is available for you, which tells you whether a user is present on the portal or not. If you'll use that, and it's a simple if-else condition, you can figure out whether user is present and hide and show content based on that. It's all server-side, so it's not that someone can sneak around JavaScript and see the content there. But this is something which you can achieve, like you can use to achieve dynamic content on the pages with respect to when user is logged in or when it's not. All right, let's go back. So this is these are the three portal types broadly, which talks about whether it's anonymous, authenticated, hybrid, and pretty much like everyone's portal fall into that category. So I hope that helps you. Now let's move to the other topic, how to onboard users. This has always been interesting. There are so many permutation combinations I've seen here. I'm just going to take a select few and talk about those. One is, my portal is open to everyone. Anyone can come and log in and register and do whatever they want to. Second is, I want some restriction. I want a select set of people. But I am going to take a complex scenario here, which we'll talk about in a minute. So open to all user, how do you do that? So pro tip is, that's how all your templates are set up. It's open to all user to register, doesn't matter what auth provider you use. So pretty much like you have to make sure your registration is enabled. So there's a site setting for that, authentication, registration enabled. Make sure it is set to true or not set at all, because the default is true if it's not set. So make sure that happens. If you turn that off, all registrations are disabled on portal. Any form of registration will be disabled after that. And second is open registration enabled. That also enables you to allow people to register from any provider they want to. This is how all your portals are set up by default. Now, important thing here is, let's say you are using Facebook as an auth provider. When a guy log into Facebook, like when someone comes to your portal page, clicks on Facebook login, logs into Facebook, if he is doing for first time, he has not been registered yet. When we'll get data back from Facebook to your portal, that's when we create the appropriate content. That's the registration flow in case of an external IDP. So those settings apply to that as well. It's not just the register thing you see on the login page. It's not at all only related to that. But yes, it affects those as well. So this one we are not going to talk about because this is straightforward and all portals are set up like this. We're going to take a complex scenario. So this is like a portal which people in Microsoft IT were trying to set up. They have a Facebook auth where anyone can come and log in, because apparently all our customer uses Facebook a lot these days. So they wanted Facebook as a login. Then they have an Azure AD auth for employees. Now for customer, it's open for everyone. Anyone who has a Facebook account can come log into the portal. Azure AD, they only wanted like 4 people. They were like, hey, like we like you, and you, and rest all don't use our portal. So how do we do that? And that, it's a very interesting scenario on how to achieve it. So we're going to go and see if it works or not. So my default portal setup here is same as what comes in the template. Its registration is enabled. Open registration enable is set to true. For Facebook, I had to do 0 work. I just enabled Facebook as a login provider. Everything works. For Azure AD is where I have to do this. Now, this is a lot. So I'll just break it down for you. Most important thing, you need to preload all your users as contacts. Now, preloading can be anything. It can be one-time manual effort. Just take an Excel and export it. It can be an automated thing which you set up where any time a user gets added to AD, you just bring it over as a contact. Now, once you have set it, everything as a contact, when I log in, I need to figure out who is this guy in Azure AD and whom do I match it against an existing contact. Like, how do I figure out which contact to match it against? So there are 2 options there. If you know email addresses for everyone and you are sure that's the email address Azure AD is going to send when someone logs in, then just set this site setting to true. Fill primary email address for your contact with whatever comes from Azure AD, set that site setting to true, everything will work. Everything will be automatically mapped. Cases where you don't know email addresses. So it's a slightly difficult thing. you have to create something called an external identity record. That's what specify this guy, who is this guy on Azure AD. There are two fields important on it. You have to make sure username is set to Azure AD object ID. Now I'm only talking about Azure AD. If it's a different provider, then just check what user ID they send. And then make sure identity provider is set for everyone. Identity provider is common. This is how Azure AD sends it. Facebook just sends Facebook as an identity provider. So that's same for all the contacts. And after that, just make sure you set registration enabled for your specific Azure AD provider as false. So what you're saying is, hey, only these guys can log in because they already had a contact created, and anyone else cannot because registration enabled is false. So no one can register on my portal. So we'll just quickly do that and see how that works. Yeah, just give me a sec. I have a guy here to put his password in. Right, thanks, Virag. All right, so, okay. Here are all my app settings. So I've set a Facebook here. And, so I did some work before. I already set Azure AD registration enabled as false. So what we can directly do is go to portal. I try to sign in with the Azure AD guy, who's a valid user in Azure AD. So it's going to take all the username and password and everything. Just throw an error because this guy hasn't been preloaded as a contact. All right, so it logged into Azure AD. It's trying to log into portal now. And it's going to say registration is disabled. You can change that message, by the way. You can put whatever you want to say. It's also MLP message, so you can actually change it in different language if you want to. But this is what is going to happen to anyone who logs in using Azure AD who's not already a contact. Now I have a guy who is already a contact. And I'm actually logged in with him. That's Virag. So everyone, can you just clap for Virag once? That's the guy who put his password in as well. So yeah, so this guy is already logged in because he was pre-created as a contact. I use contact like email mapping, so it actually just got created automatically as well. Now, I also have a Facebook thing here, right? So because you guys can later on say that, hey, I cheated, and actually no one could register on this site. So I'll try to log in as Facebook user as well. And, oops. All right, I hope I remember my Facebook password, and no, I don't. All right, so we're going to skip this part because I forgot my Facebook password. Believe it or not, it happens like every day for me. My wife knows my password better than me for Facebook for some reason. All right, so let's go back. So this was the other scenario we were talking about, where how do you make all the user on board? How do you do all these kind of complex scenarios? Whatever I did with multiple providers, you can do with a single provider as well. Like all of that is pretty much simple to set up. Now let's talk about advanced authentication scenarios. First and foremost is single sign-on. Let's say I'm logged in already. How do I make sure I log in? Like when I click on my portal link, like good scenario is if I have a website, I want to keep a link of my portal there. And when I click on that, I should just be logged in because I was logged into the parent website beforehand. How do you do that? How do you do single sign out? And then we are going to briefly talk about session timeouts as well. So most important thing, single sign on with your existing website. This, like one of the most important thing here is, let's say I'm on my parent website. When I click on a link to portal, I want to log in. So you have to make sure the page I'm going to is a always authenticated page. It's not an anonymous page. If you are going to an anonymous page, portal doesn't require you to log in. So it never does single sign-on in that case. If it's an authenticated page, it will force you to log in to go to that page, and that's how this is going to work. Another option is, like what you can also do is, if you are using only one identity provider, let's say I'm only using Facebook as identity provider on my portal, I can actually set it as default. Even if I'm using multiple identity provider, I can set them as default. And make sure the default on your portal is same as the default on the parent website you came from. So I'll just quickly show what I'm talking about here because it's very confusing. All right, so basically this is my website. It requires Facebook login. So what I want to do is I want to make Facebook as default login. So let's say if you came from a parent website which required Facebook, it is just going to ask you to go log in using Facebook and just sign you in. And I forgot I don't have my Facebook password, so I'm probably going to do it with Azure AD. So it's right here. Okay, so first step is we're going to create a site setting called all right. So what this site setting is doing is it's making a default login provider for my portal. I just did Facebook for now because that's easier to type in. And I'm going to go back to my portal here. Oops, there's a typo. You guys see a typo? Oh yeah, that's true. Damn. All right. So I'm at an anonymous page right now. That's why I'm not being prompted to log in. I'm going to go click on the sign in button. It will default it to Facebook and just take me on a Facebook login page. Now, what will happen in case you're of your existing website? You are already logged in to Facebook because you are on your parent site. You click on a portal link. It takes you to a page which is authenticated, and your default provider is Facebook. So it will never ask for credentials again. It will just log you right in. That's what is happening when I'm using portal on this browser. I'm logged into my CRM as a user. So whenever I go hit my portal, it's logging me in as Azure AD user. Because I'm already logged in. That's the single sign-on experience, which is very easy to set up. Now let's talk about other scenario, single sign-out. It's pretty simple. There's just one site setting. Oops. Sorry. It's all right. Single sign-out. Just one site setting. For per provider, if you just put Azure AD there and set that value as true, done. You don't have to do anything. When you click sign out link on your portal, it's actually going to sign you out from Azure AD as well. That's the only thing you have to set up for single sign-out. Now, this is an interesting one. Like this, not a lot of people do it, but some want, where, like imagine a scenario where you want to sign out your users automatically based on if they are not doing anything on the portal, based on inactivity. So all you have to do is set up a site setting called authentication application cookie expire time span, and set it to whatever value you want. It takes day, like hour, minute, and second in that format. So I want to do it for 10 seconds. All I have to do is 000010. After 10 seconds, if I don't touch my portal, it's going to sign me out. Now, there's an important scenario there. if you are using an external identity provider, it does sign you out from portal. When you go click sign in again, it will log you right back in because your external identity provider still has valid cookies. Like Azure AD, it happens a lot with Azure ADs. Whenever I ask someone to set it up and they are using Azure AD, every time they are like, hey, it never logged me out from Azure AD. It just logged me right back in when I clicked on Azure AD. So the reason is because Azure AD has application cookies, which are valid for a longer time than 10 seconds. But they do support setting the time frame on access tokens and ID tokens. Just go ahead, read this link, and you can set that up as well. Make sure whatever is the token expiry time in your IDP is similar to whatever time you set here. Then everything will work as it is intended to. So what I'm going to do here is I'll just go and set that setting to 10 seconds. All right. Okay. Yeah, so I didn't realize it was set to 11. Oops, I didn't realize that as well. Okay, so this is the site setting I set up to 10 seconds. I didn't realize before my session that it was set to 11 minutes. So I'm already signed out here. Now, but I'm going to sign in again. And all right, so before doing that, delete it, and then go here, click on sign in. All right, so I'm going to do another attempt. All right, so I got logged in as Facebook. And I'm just going to wait for 10 seconds. And if anyone knows something good we can talk about for 10 seconds, we can do that. Or no? All right, so damn, 10 seconds seems so long right now. Okay, should be done. I reload my page, and voila, I'm signed out. So again, if I was using, like if Facebook actually sets cookies for like hours and hours and hours, then that thing will log me right back in if I use Facebook, because Facebook cookies are still valid in my browser. So those kind of things, just be cautious against. Rest, this setting works beautifully. So that's pretty much it. Like that's all I wanted to talk to you guys. Maybe it helps you. Go to this thing and rate, and there's a bug in there, so it only accepts 5-star ratings. That's what I heard. So if you guys want to do that, that's be totally okay. I'll tell those guys that it's just a bug. You guys didn't meant me to give 5 stars, but right. And I do have a session on Thursday talking about roadmap for Portal. So it's in somewhere in 206. So if you guys want to hear more about how we're going to do, what we are going to do next in Portals, that will be a good place to come as well. Thank you.